James Darcy, it's great to have you here in Ireland. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, Cloud Atlas, 6 stories spanning I don't know how many different years, 3 directors, 2 simultaneous shoots. This should not work.
No, it shouldn't, should it?
How does it work?
I don't know. I don't know, but it does, I think. And you know, it's almost impossible to describe the film because it's not like this film meets that film, or I have no frame of reference to when discussing it. It's a completely unique experience, but I do think pretty satisfying.
Yeah. You mentioned, it's hard to describe it. So when you got the script, how were you making sense of the script?
Well, I had read the book by chance, so that helped, I suppose. Scripts are always a little bit tricky to read, particularly if, they're set in any kind of sci-fi world, which, there's an element of this which is set in the future. So it's hard to visualize those things. The past is obviously a little easier. But you know that Andy and Lana Wachowski are brilliant at that kind of thing. You know that Tom Tykwer is a beautiful filmmaker and the nicest human being on the planet as well. And the bit that was actually difficult was you needed to have a key as to which actors were playing all the different parts in order to really make the script make some sense. I thought it was the most beautiful script I've ever read.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it comes across on the screen, and as you said yourself, this has to be one of the most unique filmmaking experiences ever. Because actors usually say, "I took this on because of the role," but you get to play so many different characters spanning different ages as well. And I like that this film shows that it doesn't matter if you're male, female, what race you are, you're going to play everything.
Right. I agree. And look, it did add up to a very enjoyable experience for everybody because, we had some very heavy hitters on the film. Tom Hanks is, maybe the biggest movie star in the world. Yeah. And he was so cool and easy, and he'd come and play an extra in one of the stories.
Really?
Well, he would just sort of there, he'd have 1 line or 2 lines or whatever, and he was completely cool and laid back. So everybody was just, everybody takes the lead from the main guy, and, everyone was just happy to be along for the ride.
And what was it like seeing yourself transform? Because as the audience, seeing you go from a young guy to the older guy, and even as a female nurse, what was it like?
No, I was a male nurse. I wasn't a female nurse.
I was going to say.
I wasn't the female nurse.
Okay, who was the female nurse?
That was Hugo Weaving.
I knew it was a guy. But what was it like to see you transforming? You'd look in the mirror and go, wow.
Well, I guess the biggest transformation was to into playing a 78-year-old version of myself, and I thought that the prosthetics were so good that I honestly, it made me want to jump out the window because I was so disappointed with getting older, But also, there's another role where I got to shave my head, which I'd never done. That was quite good fun. I mean, the whole thing was just a brilliant adventure.
Yeah. Now, I went into this movie going, it's just not going to work. I'm not going to enjoy it. I walked away and I had this passion in the pit of my belly. What did you take from this film?
It really arrested my thinking for about 48 hours. I couldn't make any... I just felt a sort of somehow a sense of calm. And I don't know why. I felt very excited to be alive. I felt like everything that I did had some kind of meaning. And was valuable, and it made me want to be a better person.
Yeah, it does. And does it continue? To have impact on your life now?
I mean, look, it doesn't have quite the intensity that it did when I saw it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it does. It's one of those films that, it's awful to say that a movie might be important, but I think actually, what it is talking about. At least it opens up a conversation about how we might live our lives as human beings in this extraordinary universe.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
It really is, and that conversation, you can't have too many of those conversations.
Right.
Another film that you were recently involved in was Hitchcock. What was that like? You played Anthony Perkins.
Yeah, it was great.
Like?
It was great. I had a lovely, lovely time, and I got to work with Anthony Hopkins, who's not only one of the greatest film actors that's ever lived, but also just the most wonderful man. So sweet and really, really very supportive of me and very funny. It was just great.
So James, how do you follow up experiences like Hitchcock and Cloud Atlas?
I don't know. I don't know. Have a conversation with you.
Well, what films are coming up next for you? Because there's quite a bit.
Well, I did a film called In Their Skin, which I don't think is out in this country yet, and I just shot a pilot for an American channel based on a Danish show, because of course they all have to be based on Danish shows now. Everything good comes from Denmark. So we're going to see how we do more of that, and then beyond that, I don't know.
Well, James, I look forward to seeing whatever comes next. Thanks so much for Cloud Atlas.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It was a real pleasure.
Nice to meet you.